Hey everyone, welcome to the Self-Agency Advocate podcast. I'm your host Amanda, and this is a space where we explore, discover, and share tools, techniques, and wisdom to help you build and maintain a sense of agency. Today, I want to talk a little bit more about this concept of FeltSense because I've noticed it come up so much over the conversations with all of the people that I've been talking to lately. It seems to be one of the core places that we can come back to and one of the most important parts of self-agency. So when we talk about FeltSense, for some, it's that gut feeling or butterflies, the tightness in the stomach, knots, anything like that. For some, it's this feeling of expansion or openness in the body, or a contraction, a closing off. There's so many different elements to it, but essentially it comes down to that true connection with your own experience with it. So it can mean a bunch of different things to everyone because we're all different and living our own experience. When you really boil it down and get into the grit of it, it's the same. It's checking in. It's coming back to that place of quieting the mind and letting go of the rationale, the reasons, the thoughts, the justifications, and getting in touch with how it makes you feel. How does it feel in your body to think or live into the scenario that you're grappling with? So for example, if you're trying to make a decision of, do I stay in this job? When you let go of the logic and the I need to pay my bills and maybe one day I'll get a promotion and maybe one day this job will feel right. While on the flip side, you're like, I feel drained every day. I'm exhausted. I'm unfulfilled right now. I feel really shitty about it, and I don't actually want to do this anymore. Rationally, your mind and your mental side can come in and say, hey, I get it. I know that you're not loving this, but we need to survive. We need to pay the bills. We need to pay rent. We need to be a person of society and have this job. Whatever it looks like, whatever that rational side wants to say. And you can sit in those thoughts, that spiral, for days and days, sometimes weeks and months and years, actually, when you go down the line of jobs and staying in something that you don't love or align with. But what if in those moments of thought and getting so caught up in the pros and cons, the justification, all of that, could we come to a place of, okay, let's feel into this. Let's see if this actually physically and emotionally and energetically, most importantly, aligns. And how I do this, I'll speak from personal experience first, and you'll hear it in a lot of other episodes of how other people do it. But what it looks like for me is really coming into that place of quiet presence. So sitting in silence, sitting in a space of connectedness with myself, and slowly starting to kind of still the waters of the internal landscape. So quieting the mind, letting the thoughts go, connecting to my breath, starting with that, because when I deeply breathe and feel my inhales and exhales, I know that I'm in the present moment. I'm right here, right now, with myself. So once I feel a little more calm and a little more clear, the quietness has started to take over, I'll really feel into both sides of the coin and ask myself, does this make me feel more expansive, more open? Does it make me feel light and airy? Do I get a lightness in my chest and my heart kind of flutters with excitement? Is there that openness when I think about this? Or, on the contrary, does this actually contract my body? Does this actually make me feel like, oh, nope, that's yuck? whether it's a tightness in the stomach or a contracting of the chest. We can feel the difference between a full body yes and a full body no. We can feel when something doesn't align. And if we can get to a place where that feeling is just second nature and we can feel into it in the moment, someone can say something or an opportunity can arise and we can sit with it and say, ooh, that doesn't feel good in my body. I'm not sure why, and I don't need to know. All I know is that that doesn't feel right. And likewise, we can feel that sense of excitement. We can feel that sense of, oh wow, that gives me full body chills. Like, yes, I am all in. That feels so good. And when we can get to a place where we're exploring more of that felt sense and living from a place of alignment, it somewhat makes the decision so much easier. Not necessarily less scary, because sometimes it means stepping into the unknown, the uncertain, but the mind can simply tell you what it is that you'll be missing out on. It only knows what it will be losing. It only knows what's being taken away, because we haven't yet experienced what it would be like to live in that aligned place. We haven't yet experienced all of the things, the whatever that could drop in when we're living in a place of alignment, because we haven't done it yet. We're not there. We haven't experienced that side of it yet. So try this on. Try what it looks like for you. How does it resonate? What does a full body yes feel like? And what does a full body no feel like? And one way that you can start to explore it, if you don't already have a practice, is, again, coming to that space of quiet mind, still body, silence, coming into a space where you feel comfortable and you know you're not going to be disrupted and you can really connect with you. So coming into that more mindfully aware space of silence. And then ask yourself and say repeatedly, yes, and start to really resonate with a yes. You can think of a time in your life where you did something that was a full body yes, and you know from that experience that it felt so good. You can think about that experience and think of that yes and start to get curious. Where do you notice it in your body? Where do you feel it? And that can be kind of a compass or a guideline to come back to when you're curious about the next scenario. Does this feel like that full body yes felt, or is this different? And then in that same moment, let that scenario fall away. Get clear and quiet once again. Deep breaths, let it go. Come back into that space of stillness and think of a time that you were doing something that you knew didn't resonate. When you look back at that experience, you're like, oh yeah, that did not align with anything, my values, my beliefs, who I am, and I did it anyways. That no, or that discomfort, that disalignment felt like what in my body? And get curious. Where did I feel the discomfort? Where did I feel all of the no? And then again, it can be kind of that bookmark to come back to and say, oh, this conversation right now or this experience right now is feeling very similar to that no, that physical somatic experience that I had with the no. So these are just ways that we can start to get curious and start to develop a sense of not only communication with ourselves and start to open those pathways, but it lets our physical, mental, and emotional body know that we're listening and that we're curious and we want to cultivate a relationship and we want to deepen our connection as well as listen and honor to the messages that it's trying to deliver to us. So it's all about cultivating that sense of curiosity and really honoring everything that you're hearing and really diving deeper into that intimate connection and relationship with yourself. So I hope somewhere in that you felt something within and you can take that little tool with you and try it out, try it on. Again, take what feeds you and leave the rest and start to build your own little toolkit of things that you can take along this journey with you. Thank you you so much for listening. And if there's anything at all that you want to explore or you have ideas about and want to get into, please drop me a line. You can find us at The Self-Agency Advocate on both Facebook and Instagram. And I would absolutely love to chat, so let's connect.